Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine, and I'm on my trip around Northern Ireland, hosted by North Ireland Tourism Ireland, and Fulcha Ireland. And we're here with Nathan Dahmer, who's the acting general manager of the Ulster American Folk Park. And so we're going to find out what it's like to have emigrated to America. It's all memorialized here on Insider Travel Report. We're going to show them the park as you describe it. What is its importance?
Yeah, so the park itself, so the Ulster American Folk Park, it's really, really important piece of our heritage and history here in Ireland or Northern Ireland. As many people know, a lot of people emigrated from here across to America, and we try to retell that through a very sort of engaging and interpretive way to try and give people a sense of what that journey was actually like whenever they actually sailed across from here into America.
Please tell us, walk us through, like if we were to do this chronologically, what should we see first, second, third to really get a better understanding?
Yep. So the way the museum flows, so whenever you first come into the museum, you get a little bit of a teaser as to what life was like in rural Ireland. So you're talking in around the late 1700s, early 1800s. You would see the likes of thatched cottages, turf fires. You would start to learn about what the living conditions were like for the people of Ireland. You'll also start to learn around the famine period as well, which is one of the main things that happened obviously in Ireland. And through that, you'll start to learn about some of the stories and the ideas that people would have had for going across to America, to that idea of I'm not going to use the word American dream, but it literally was for a lot of people, that idea that life would be so much better and life can be better in America. And we try to retell that through sort of main storylines and themes that run through the park here itself.
So connecting the two halves, the old Irish origins and then the American before that, you have a ship.
Yep, so as part of the journey of the experience, not only do you see what life was like in rural Ireland, you also experience what that crossing or what that sailing would have been like on one of the largest migration ships to leave Ireland or Northern Ireland at the time. So we have a replica size of one of those sailing ships actually here at the park itself, and it really does make people understand and make people aware what those conditions were actually like, because it's not like a cruise liner or a cruise ship that you'd see nowadays.
And this was a cushy one, right? This is a good one.
This is probably, I wouldn't say the word good, but it was probably one of the more comfortable ones. The ship itself was built for transporting cargo and livestock and things, but it did actually then become one of the largest migration ships for people as well, which wasn't what it was initially intended for, unfortunately.
And then you then have replicas of what the homesteading and whatever was like in America?
Yep, so once you then enter the American side of the museum, you then start to get a sense of what life was like for those migrants who arrived in the likes of Pennsylvania, and to get a sense of what basically starting from scratch, trying to build a new life in a new place. You don't know anybody. You're trying to get some land. You're trying to get a home for your family. You also then have to start thinking around, how am I actually going to communicate back to my family who I've left in Ireland? They're going to be wondering, did I make it? Did I survive the crossing? How have I done when I've arrived?
There's no internet.
No internet.
And mail is difficult.
Mail is very, very difficult. A lot of people didn't hear from their families for months upon months whenever they first arrived. It very much depended just how quickly you got yourself established and how quickly you got set up whenever you arrived.
So why did we pick this spot? And let's let them look beyond us.
Mm-hmm. So Alan, we're standing here at the minute on the grounds of the Mellon Homestead. So the reason we're standing here today is because this is essentially why the whole museum is essentially here in the first place. The Mellon Homestead was the home of the Mellon family. And Thomas Mellon grew up and was born in this house. He is one of the main storylines that we tell of somebody who started off here in Ireland, and he emigrated across then to America and basically went on to greater and better things, and he actually became one of the founding members of the Mellon Bank Corporation in America. Right. So he is the Mellon family story is one of the main stories that we tell here as an example of somebody who started here in Ireland and emigrated across to America. And the museum basically has been built around this original farm itself. So you'll notice the fact when we came across here, we had to cross a public road to get here. Right. So the museum has just been built around this location.
I just have one question. It's not even a question. I'm aware of the fact that our tradition of carving pumpkins is not the original tradition that I see all around here. What are we seeing?
Yeah, so you'll see, Alan, around here on the Irish side of the museum, you'll see a lot of turnips or swedes, as some people know them. So that's one of the traditions that would have been originated here in Ireland. The idea of carving turnips, carving swedes would have been like Irish folklore tradition. That tradition actually then transferred across to America, as did the people. So when people move to a new location or a new home, they bring their traditions and their customs with them. That is also adding into why you see the likes of carved pumpkins now, and the likes that's been very commercialised, and you see that a lot in America as well. But originally, pumpkins didn't grow in Ireland, or people never heard of pumpkins. So the original tradition would have been that people here in Ireland would have carved a turnip or a swede.
The turnips is a smaller canvas. The pumpkin is a bigger one for your artwork.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll see some of the creative carvings here today. Right. People it's just part of the tradition that people would have had, and it's all to do with that Irish folklore and that Irish mythology as well, where it would have been to do with spirits and Irish spirits and different things like that as well.
And I'm noticing a lot of spirits roaming around, little spirits all dressed up.
Yeah, so as part of our event that we have on today, we're doing Halloween storytelling, we're doing Halloween games, different activities, crafts, barn dancing actually as well on the American side, so I hope you've got your dancing shoes with you today. So as part of our seasonal programs, we try to incorporate that into the museum experience, and we try to show people those traditions and those customs that did start off obviously in Ireland, and then how they were impacted and transferred across to America as well, and vice versa. So traditions that also came from America back to Ireland as well. So that's something that we try to do as part of our events as well, because it's very important.
And let's tell our travel advisors where they can get more information. Is there a website they should be using?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are Ulster American Folk Park as part of National Museums Northern Ireland. So we're responsible for the care of 4 museums here in Northern Ireland itself, Ulster American Folk Park being one of 4. We have our own Ulster American Folk Park website, but also if you also search for National Museums Northern Ireland, you'll be able to find out more about our national collection, more about other museum locations that we have here as well, and what it is that we try to do here as a museum.
The URL?
The URL is www.ulsteramericanfolkpark.org.
Thank you for talking to us.
You're very welcome, Alan.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.